Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. In today's world, it's easy to feel incredibly connected to everyone and everything, but also, at the same time, maybe a little isolated too. So today we're diving into something really fascinating, which is how technology is actually, helping people forge genuine friendships across the globe.
Yeah, I mean, that's really something, isn't it?
Yeah, and to help us unpack all this, we've got this really interesting article from Kenton Patterson over at a Future TechWise blog. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, so he really dives into how these global connections are forming and, more importantly, why they should matter to all of us. You know, what's the big deal?
Yeah, well, what strikes me right away? If you think about it, for I don't know, all of history, basically, right? The
Hmm.
ability to actually make friends, depended so much on just who happened to be geographically near you.
Totally. Like you're limited to your town or, city or whatever.
Exactly. But, what Patterson points out is that today, with all these digital tools, social media and everything, those geographic barriers are just dissolving.
It's true. It makes you think about all the ways that we connect with people now, right? Not even just social media, but like online communities built around like hobbies and passion.
Absolutely.
And even, like AI translation tools,
Hmm.
breaking down language barriers, like it's wild. It really makes you realize that these technologies are going way beyond, just sharing information.
Right.
It's about actual human connection,
Yeah.
like forming real bonds with people that, without these technologies, you would probably never even cross paths with.
Yeah, and I think, what's really interesting is if you step back for a minute and think about what we all kind of crave as humans, right? Like
Right.
that need to connect with others, to be understood, to learn and grow.
Like those core human desires.
Exactly. These are universal. They go way beyond any cultural differences. And Patterson's argument is that these global friendships can actually fulfill those needs in completely new ways. It's pretty cool.
It is. And you know what? It really seems like these friendships form, they really solidify when people share experiences, right? I mean, Patterson gives some really great examples in the article,
Right.
like people from like total opposite sides of the world bonding over, I don't know, like online games or working together in virtual study
Yeah.
groups, or
Yeah.
even just, connecting over like a shared love of some obscure hobby or something.
Right. And it all just highlights that idea that, we're all really more alike than different when you get down to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And these connections, they really bring that to the forefront. It's like a big reminder.
Exactly. Exactly. And it brings us to a crucial point, I think, which is how do these global friendships actually affect you? Why should you care?
Right. Like, how do they enrich your life?
Exactly. And Patterson outlines several key benefits. Think about it. You could get a completely different perspective on a problem you're struggling with just by talking to someone from a different culture.
Right. Right.
Or maybe you get, unexpected opportunities because you have connections in different parts of the world.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really powerful stuff. And, for those of you out there who might sometimes feel like you just don't fit in where you are, finding a supportive community online, regardless of where they are in the world, can be like a lifeline.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. And Patterson also talks about, the personal growth that comes from engaging with different viewpoints, appreciating how diverse human experience really is. It just opens up your world.
Yeah. It's like it makes you realize how much is out there, how much you don't know.
Totally. And, he brings up some interesting concrete examples too. Like we all know about study abroad programs,
All right.
right?
Those are classic for international friendships.
Right, exactly. But there are tons of online communities out there built around specific interests, whether it's technology, art, music, business, anything.
Yeah. And they all become like these breeding grounds for collaboration and support that just crosses all these borders. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And one thing I found really interesting in Patterson's article is how he talks about shared purpose, like a common goal, bringing people together from all over the world.
Yeah. And it makes sense, right? It's like when people are driven by compassion and this desire to make a positive change, it can create some really powerful friendships, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like you're working towards something bigger than yourself, and that's where some of the deepest connections come from, I think.
Definitely. And, when we talk about like building a more inclusive world, it's amazing how these international friendships can really challenge our assumptions,
Hmm.
like interacting with people from different backgrounds forces us to confront our own biases.
Right, and that's really important, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's like
Uh,
it makes you question everything you thought you knew.
Yeah.
you know, and hopefully develop more empathy and understanding for people who are different from you.
Exactly, exactly. It might be a little uncomfortable at first, stepping outside of your comfort zone like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
But as Patterson suggests, the rewards are huge. You end up with a much richer, more nuanced understanding of the world and your place in it. It's like it encourages you to really embrace the full spectrum of human
It's
experience.
true. It's like it opens up all these possibilities that you didn't even know existed before. So, at the end of the day, Patterson's article really highlights just how incredible this potential is, in the digital age to
Yep.
build these meaningful friendships that just ignore geographical boundaries.
Right. It's really amazing.
Yeah, and it's not just enriching our own individual lives, but
Yeah.
it's also creating this like more interconnected, understanding global community. It's pretty inspiring, actually.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I want to leave you with this thought, Is there someone, somewhere in the world, whose perspective you find intriguing? Maybe someone whose life experiences are just completely different from your own.
Yeah.
And like, what could you learn from them? What new understanding could you gain just by, reaching out and making that connection? It's really something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.